So, what does it really mean to be like a creative chameleon in the entertainment industry? Someone who can just uh, seamlessly jump between stand-up comedy, acting, even pioneering stuff like podcasting.
Right.
And then they throw you a curveball and start making music in like totally different genres.
Yeah, it's pretty rare to see someone nail all of those.
Well, today we're doing a deep dive into someone who really embodies that multi-hyphenate spirit, often with this sort of mischievous vibe about him, Howard Michael Kremer.
Ah, okay, Howard Kremer.
Yeah. So our mission today is really to explore this incredibly diverse journey he's been on, understand not just what he's done, but maybe how he's managed to become such a unique, enduring presence across so many different creative fields.
And I think what we'll find is that his different roles, and especially how he uses these distinct artistic personas, it's not just versatility for its own sake.
Right.
It gives us a really unique way to look at creative adaptability itself. It's, like you said, not just dabbling. He seems to make a real consistent impact everywhere he lands, often by kind of inventing a whole new identity for it.
That's what I find so fascinating. I mean, okay, let's start at the beginning, right? Howard Michael Kremer, born February 3rd, 1968, Matawan, New Jersey.
Okay, Jersey roots.
Yeah. And interestingly, his family life pops up a lot in this comedy. Stories about his twin sister Nancy and his older siblings. Apparently, he does a great impression of his older brother Lee.
Oh, really? Yeah, that makes sense. That early life stuff, it often provides, the best material.
Definitely.
And you can sort of connect those dots. And his education, he went to NYU and Monmouth University. And at Monmouth, this is interesting, he hosted a radio show.
Oh, wow. Didn't know that.
Yeah. And looking back now, you think, okay, that wasn't just like a student activity. It feels like a pretty early sign of where he'd end up with audio.
Totally.
Right?
Like foreshadowing for the podcasting.
Yeah, exactly. That experience, connecting with people just through sound must have been really valuable training for later on.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So from Jersey, college radio,
Mm,
he then makes a pretty big jump, moves to Austin, Texas,
right.
specifically to do stand-up. That feels like a conscious choice, a bit of a leap.
It really does. Austin, especially back then, was this kind of bubbling cauldron of creativity, comedy, music.
Yeah, a good scene.
A really good scene, and maybe a bit less cutthroat than jumping straight into New York or LA. It seems like it was fertile ground for someone with his kind of observational style to, find his voice.
Then build something.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't the standard path, which kind of speaks to his independent streak, I think.
And it seems like that move paid off like relatively quickly because he wasn't just doing stand-up there. Something much bigger happened.
Right.
He teamed up with his writing partner, Brad Chip Pope, and they co-created this MTV show, Austin Stories.
Yes. Austin Stories, single-camera comedy. That was a really significant breakthrough.
Huge, right? For MTV at the time, too.
Absolutely enormous. And not just because, hey, I got a show on TV. For Kremer, it was really his entry point as a creator.
Okay. Writer-creator.
Exactly. The success of Austin Stories, it really marks this critical shift for him. Showed he wasn't just a performer, but someone who could, write and conceptualize comedy.
And that's what led him to L.A.
Directly. That success prompted the move to Los Angeles. It wasn't just changing location. It was a clear step up, moving from performer to creator-writer with a proven show. That really cemented his place in the industry, I think.
That's such a key transition. Performer to, creative force.
Yeah.
But he didn't stop performing, obviously.
Yeah. Not at all.
I mean, beyond Austin Stories, he got his own Comedy Central Presents half-hour special, which, that's a massive milestone for any stand-up.
Huge. A rite of passage, almost.
And then you see him pop up pretty consistently in acting roles.
Yeah.
Like recurring parts on Scare Tactics. Remember that show?
Oh.
And the IFC series comedy Bang. Bang. He was great on that. His timing just fit perfectly there.
She really shone on comedy. Bang. Bang! And if you zoom out, his guest appearances are like all over the map.
Right.
Seriously. Animation like Adventure Time.
Not Adventure Time.
Sketch shows like Pretend Time, The Meltdown with Jonah and Kumail. Game shows like At Midnight, even documentaries like the one about Brody Stevens, Enjoy It.
Oh, okay.
And late night like Jimmy Kimmel Live. It just shows this incredible range and visibility. He can slot into almost any comedic format.
It's adaptable.
Very. He's one of those guys, you see him and you know him, even if maybe the name doesn't immediately click for everyone, he just fits.
So from TV, stand-up, acting, he then makes this really interesting pivot right into what was still kind of the Wild West back then, podcasting.
Yeah, a true pioneer there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, this is probably where a lot of people, myself included, really got to know his voice. He's the host of Who Charted on Earwolf.
His flagship, yeah. With Kulap Vilaysack originally.
Right. And that's not the only one. He also does Grifthorse with Megan Koester.
Mm-hmm.
So he really embraced that medium early on.
He absolutely did. And I think what's key there is how early and how consistently. Podcasting wasn't just, another thing to do. It felt like the perfect medium for him.
Oh, so?
Well, it let his conversational style, that sort of improvisational, unique humor, just flourish without the constraints you get from TV networks or even structuring a stand-up set,
More freedom.
Way more freedom. It became this intimate platform for his specific brand of comedy, talking directly to the audience. I mean, think about it. Early podcasting had, no rules.
Right. Make it up as you go.
Exactly. And Kremer jumped right in, made his own shows, his own format, and built this really loyal following directly. It shows, I think, a lot of foresight. He saw the potential before a lot of others did.
Yeah, that's impressive, carving out that space.
Yeah.
But when you think, okay, comedian, podcaster, he throws another massive curveball.
Yeah, here it comes.
His musical alter ego.
Yeah.
Dragon Boy Suede.
Chuckles. Yes. Dragon Boy Suede.
Which is not comedy music, really. It's his hip-hop persona.
Right. It's legit hip-hop, but with his unique spin.
And he's got a whole discography under this name. Dragon Boy Suede in 2006. Master of Pheromones in 2009.
Mm-hmm.
Then the one with the unforgettable title Douche Minutia in 2013.
Laughs. Yeah, that's a title.
And apparently there was one called Tears on My Shaft, slated for 2016, but it's listed as TBA. So maybe it's still coming.
Who knows? But the whole Dragon Boy Suede thing, it's not just him making hip-hop. It feels like this masterclass in creating a completely separate brand.
Yeah.
I mean, that persona lets him explore themes, lyrics, stuff that's maybe edgier, more satirical, that might not quite fit his, Howard Kremer, the comedian identity.
Different channel for different ideas.
Exactly. It gives him total freedom in that lane, a deliberate separation. It's almost like performance art sometimes, maybe a commentary on hip-hop itself. Playful, provocative, but totally distinct.
It's a full commitment.
It really is. You don't often see someone go that far in creating such a different persona for a specific genre. It's not just a side project, it's its own world.
Okay, so we've got the comedy, the podcasting, the hip-hop alter ego. But wait, there's more.
Of course there is.
Because while Dragon Boy Suede is doing the hip-hop thing, Howard Kremer, under his own name, has this other musical project.
Right, the Summah albums.
The Summah albums, produced with Dustin Marshall and Brett Morris. And it's not just one or two, it's a whole series.
It really is, like clockwork every year for a while there.
Have a Summah in 2012, have another Summah 13, Summah this Summah, that 14.
Summatology in 15.
Oculus Summah in 16. Plus, he did theme songs for Who Charted, and he was on that Hard and Firm song, Pie.
Yeah.
The sheer volume of these Summah albums, it suggests like a real genuine passion for that sound, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And what's fascinating is the contrast.
Totally different vibe.
Completely. Dragon Boy Suede is that, raw satirical hip-hop, edgy. The Summah albums, they're just pure, unironic, feel-good anthems about, summer.
Sunshine and good times.
Exactly. And this duality, it shows this really sophisticated way of engaging different audiences, expressing totally different sides of himself. He compartmentalizes them perfectly.
So one doesn't bleed into the other.
Right. Each persona gets its own space to thrive. It really points to this deep well of creativity, not just one focus.
It's pretty clear he's a man of many names, and not just the musical ones. Dragon Boy Suede, yeah. But he also uses nicknames like H. Michael Cray and Howie Michael Motorcycle.
Chuckles, yeah, those pop up.
It's like this whole personal universe he's built with different identities for different modes.
And an artist using multiple monikers like that, it's pretty telling. It raises questions about, creative strategy.
Oh, so?
Well, it's not just about exploring different outputs. I think it's a really deliberate choice to keep them separate, to compartmentalize. Each name might represent a different part of his creative brain, letting him play different roles.
Without confusing people?
Yeah, or maybe without confusing himself. It lets him be playful here, serious there, satirical, earnest, sometimes all at once, but under different flags, It's like saying, okay, this is the me for this project.
That makes sense. So, okay, we've traced all these different paths. Stand-up in Austin, MTV creator, TV regular, podcast pioneer, musician with two distinct styles. What does it all add up to? What's the big picture here?
I think ultimately what we see is Howard Kremer's just enduring impact as this really consistent creative force, but across so many different areas.
Right.
He's not just dipping his toes in. He's actually made significant, like, real contributions in each field he's gone into. It shows incredible adaptability, foresight, maybe just a restless artistic spirit that keeps him pushing.
Yeah, never settling.
Exactly. His career is this powerful argument for, diversifying your creative expression in an industry that loves putting people in boxes
He just ignores the box?
or builds new ones. He's like a true entrepreneurial artist, constantly innovating, constantly redefining what a multi-hyphenate creative can actually be. And, it really makes you wonder, what is it that drives someone like Howard Kremer to constantly reinvent himself like this, to explore so many different ways of expressing things?
Yeah.
And maybe more importantly, how does that whole multi-hyphenate approach end up enriching the work itself? And maybe even his own artistic satisfaction compared to just, sticking to one thing? Is it about finding the right outlet for every single idea, or is it something deeper, like a need to explore every single part of your own creative landscape?
That is a really interesting question to leave you, the listener,
Yeah.
with. Whether you know him best from his stand-up, or Who Charted, or maybe Grifthorse, or if you're a fan of Dragon Boy Suede or the Summah albums, there's clearly a whole world of Howard Kremer out there.
A lot to explore.
Definitely. So we really encourage you to dive in if you haven't already. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into a truly versatile and just endlessly fascinating entertainer.